This is Jordan Grace, and you're listening to the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, this on the regular dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rude. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. It's One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
We got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
Hi, this is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans, and that's all that counts to me. Goodbye and good night. Thanks.
Hey, folks. Welcome to this week's edition of One Nation Radio. I'm James Boyd. Hear me out. Rich Latta, what's going on, man?
Much. Fire the men. The W is back, baby.
Yes, the W is back, and I'm assuming that's where we start, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll get to that pesky Final Four figured out for the men's basketball in a second, but the regular season for the WNBA,
the real stars are here.
I mean, okay, stars debatable. The biggest star, it might be Caitlin Clark. It might be Caitlin Clark. Yeah, so I guess that's where we start, where we always start. Indiana Fever versus Chicago Sky. God damn it, I'm sick of this damn thing. Rich, I didn't get a chance to watch this. I happened to be preoccupied this weekend or on Saturday, but I did keep tabs on the bullshit, and the bullshit keeps finding these two.
Race war.
I saw Lebitard talk about it in a clip on YouTube. I saw someone else, like actual places that I respect, have mentioned in their clips on YouTube about this, jokingly, not seriously, mention in jest a race war, which means that y'all have carried this shit way too far, that it is reaching these mainstream places to talk about how ridiculous everyone is handling this. People that listen to this show, I don't think are that ridiculous about it. When I'm about ridiculous, I mean, if you were on X/Twitter or whatever else when this happened on Saturday, you know what I'm talking about. And I guess, Rich, do you want to talk about the game, or which one do you want to go first? You want to go to the ridiculousness, or you want to get to the actual game, the substance?
I'll do the game first, because it comes within the flow of the game, and as soon as it happened, I just sent the message to the group also, there it goes.
Also, if we do the game, we get through the game real quick because it wasn't that compelling.
Yeah, so it kind of started out, and it's just like the Fever were just blowing a bunch of layups and all that, but you can clearly tell everybody's refreshed, and the lineup is something special. Huge upgrades with Natasha Howard replacing Alyssa Smith, and Dewana Bonner stepping in to the starting role. So it's like we have like 3 tall people to just put their hands up in the paint.
This man said he's already starting off nasty.
Yes, the Fever.
I didn't know this nigga was French, but okay.
Yeah, So I just saw it. They just started beating Chicago's ass, just tons of assists for Caitlin. On her way, cruises to a triple-double. Comes in at the end to get it, or whatever. Aaliyah Boston goes crazy. She has like 19 to 13 and 5 blocks. Caitlin has 4 blocks, 2 steals. Sent Angel Reese's shot once. Angel Reese ended up with 12 points and 17 boards, but shot a horrific percentage from, right under the rim. So, Chicago looks really bad, like they're going to struggle mightily. It's almost like they need to call Kennedy Carter back from Mexico and tell her, hey, we're sorry. Come help.
But are we sure she wants to come? Are we sure she wants to leave Mexico? It looks like she's having a lot of fun in Mexico.
She might not. She might not want to leave. But, bro, it slowly just started like, and I could tell what was different with Caitlyn this year, where it was like her body and physically, it was like people were pushing her around, and when people were trying to give her the body, it was like she was knocking them back. Like there was this one time, like she caught Courtney Vandersloot on the left side, and she just pretty much backed her down and crossed her up and you know gave her the
step back like 20-footer.
Yep, gave her like the arm push off. Essentially, it was like, hey, you ain't doing nothing over here. Showed the mid range, showed the threes, of course. Ended the half with one of the logo threes. Opened the game with a logo three. Yeah, this offense looked great, and I don't even think they played as good as they can play.
Yeah. I have a question. What year is this for Vandersloot now?
Oh, she up there with the red light. She's played like over 490 games.
That's what I'm getting at. Because, like, I remember last year, and I found out she was still in the league. I was like, really? She's still in the league? Yeah, she has to be the most player in the league right now, right? Has to be.
I think it's her.
Yeah.
No, it's either her or DeWanna Bonner.
I might be doing a black don't crack thing. When I think of DeWanna Bonner, I don't think of her as that old.
She's still all-star.
Especially compared to Vandersloot.
Yeah. DeWanna Bonner was literally an all-star last year. So.
Yeah, there's that too. Like DeWanna, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but that second half, like when you get into it, the Fevers just start opening that bitch up, and then you can see the frustration kind of building, and it culminates in a play where Angel Reese is going for an offensive rebound. She two-hand shoves Natasha Howard in the back. Natasha Howard goes flying. Caitlyn looks at the ref like, what the fuck? You're not going to call this? And she basically puts one arm out, like gesturing. Sees Angel about to attempt to score with a layup. And she's like, well, I'm just going to stop you from scoring. And she swiped down hard on the ball.
Hard take foul.
Hard take foul. And then gives her the left hand a little bit on the back. Pretty much like as part of it, like, you know, to ensure that she wasn't going to go up with it. Angel falls down, flops, according to some. I think she got hit pretty hard, so she did kind of open up in a weird way. You would have think she would have just leaned one way, but that's neither here or there. She stands up and she's ready to foul off on Caitlin Clark. Caitlin does what I think is kind of the wrong thing.
The passive aggressive. Oh, what did I do? I didn't do anything. I'm walking away. Nothing's happening. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I was like, do not turn around like that because somebody will spark you eventually. Was this close for Angel sparking her, if not for Aaliyah Boston, and basically Kelsey Mitchell just quickly tugging her to get away.
So on one end, it's a way to de-escalate. On the other end is not owning up to what you did. And that's the part that is like, I think a lot of people that are mad about this are mad about it's like she's doing the passive aggressive shit, and that's what people are thinking these dynamics in terms of Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. They're thinking of their past experiences when they've been the Angel Reeses to whoever the Caitlin Clark that they fucking hated, and they don't like that because it's like I didn't do anything. What are you talking about? Right? That's I think why it inflamed a lot of people. But for me, is there's a lot of people that they're watching this stuff that are caught up in this that aren't actually, or how do I say this, are newfound fans of sports and also of basketball. And it's like, nah, let's take foul, and it's a hard take foul, and you want to call it flagrant, fine. If Angel Reese wants to be upset and she got hit hard, that comes with the territory, especially when it's someone you don't like, or you have history with. I don't want to go far as saying I don't like because I don't know these people, right? But you have this kind of history with each other of some type of back and forth, right? Yeah, she took exception. She's well within her right for that. Caitlin Clark, I think it's a big non-story, but because it's them and it's the dynamics they are, and in that context of what it's been since 2023, Jesus, you get the idiots that can't handle it and they go on Twitter and then it just turns into, as we now have mentioned it, the race war. And
it's really bad, bro, because it's like then like it escalated from there. Like Angel essentially does her best Isaiah Stewart impression. She gets around, tries to untuck the jersey, act like she wants to smoke. Coach is having to calm her down.
Nobody's fighting. You are not Brittany Griner. Stop it.
She goes to the line. She misses the first technical free throw, and some like sound effect gets played or whatever from what I find out is from Flight Reacts. And he's like laughing in like this high pitched. People were saying it's a dolphin sound or something like that.
It sounds more like a dolphin than what they're claiming it sounds like. But when
they were saying it was monkey sounds.
Like, oh, okay. And then I heard it. I was like, oh no.
Yeah. So like this whole thing like spiraled from there, like to people just being out of control all on Twitter. I did a video about it on YouTube, or I did my game review. I talked about it. Then I did one in response to the league having to release a statement about alleged, an investigation they're opening about, something that may have been said to Angel Reese. And I'm like, well, where's the rest of the investigation? Y'all going to talk about how like the Indiana Fever players getting called coons and whatnot? Like none of that. I thought y'all had all this AI that was supposed to like stop all this shit, like this abuse towards players and shit. And it's like,
well, explain it to me. I think more context on this AI thing. I was unaware of this of all this.
So they launched a campaign called like the Stop Something for Hate or something like that, and it like is supposed to like take into effect like some AI technology to basically track down and make people stop acting ridiculous online. And
what in the stadium or just online?
Online, but they're like trying to enforce it in arenas too. So I don't know how they're going to do that.
Between some nights from your account, they'll fine you and reprimand you, throw you out.
I think the deal is if you're in the arena, like they'll kick you out for if you're like saying shit, right?
I'm fine with that.
But if you're
I'm fine with that. In fact, I would like that to be in like all major sporting events that I follow.
But if you're online, I don't know what the actual plan is. If you're online, just doing it, like because that's like a big part of like what they want. Yeah, I'm like, how do you stop that? Two is like,
how do you connect accounts to actual people?
Correct. So
I'm not like some right wingers that are like, your name needs to be attached to and your ID needs to be attached to your like online accounts. I'm not with that. So yeah, that's also another problem in here and all this, and also like y'all don't want to be attached to the things y'all say online either, because like if that's the case, say it on your LinkedIn. Oh, you don't? Oh,
yeah. And this whole thing like gets caught up in basically a real beat 'em down was going on by that point. They're the Indiana Fever, like, in what I noticed about Caitlin was when she wanted to do something in this game and send a message, she did it like instantly. Like after this whole play, she gets Camila Cardoso on a switch, free throw line extended to the right behind the 3-point line, rise her up, cross her over, deep three in her face, and it's like, oh fuck! Like as good as like she was in the second half of the year, it's like, oh, this is regular now. Like, and it's like they can't double her anymore, so she faced a lot of single coverage during the game, which is going to be terrible for these defenses, because if you guard her straight up, she's gonna be like, all right, either A, I can just cook you, or I'm going to use these 3 fucking screeners I got that are just going to open up the middle, and everybody's going to have layups or whatever. Or Kelsey Mitchell's going to bail us out, if the whole shit, goes belly up. This team is dangerous. Like, and if beating the Sky like this caused people to act like this yesterday, it's going to be a long fucking season. Niggas better lock in. Like, it's going to be bad.
Yeah, I mean, like you sent me this thing about, because people talk about Caitlin Clark's defense, about how she's like number one in defensive efficiency right now, and I was like, well, I also look at like this top 10 list you sent me, and like 6 and 5 other Indiana Fever players are on this list, which means like that only leads to the one conclusion: the Chicago Sky are selling on offense this year. Like that offense is finna be acid in a bitch. Like that is finna be an all-time awful WNBA offense. If that's the case, and it's one game, we'll see. But at the rate that's going, it's gonna be a long fucking summer.
And the Fever and the Sky got to do this 4 more times. So lock in. I saw some of the commentary was like, imagine if it was the other way around. I think while people were
Monica
forgetting
McNutt said that. She said that on Get Up this morning, and I was like, I could have sworn
I'm trying to get him more.
And when you sent it to me, I was like, if I remember correctly, I could have swore that Angel Reese went upside Caitlin's head last year, and then sure enough, I found it and I gifted, and I almost sent it in a quote tweet to that Get Up account talking about that, but I left it alone because, like you mentioned, I don't want to help inflame the race war, but it's there. Angel Reese went upside her head last year. She didn't flash on Angel, and obviously has something to do with the part where like Caitlyn don't want to fight Angel, and I don't think I don't think their level of frustration with each other are totally disproportionate. They're totally different. Like Angel Reese is like, her dislike for Caitlin Clark seemingly is here compared to where Caitlyn's is, where it's like here. Like these people seem to not like each other, but one person dislikes the other one seemingly more than the other one. And I think a lot of that has to come with like the frustration of she made a stupid little gesture. She got made a mockery of or vilified for ever since then. And now the only place to put that kind of resentment to in any kind of way, like you can't argue with everybody. So you're gonna see it as it's like I made one little mistake, or not even a mistake. Like I did something in a game that was like very, very tame compared to the things you see in sport, and this turned into me getting hell for the last 2 years. Yeah, I could see easily her holding a grudge against somebody that is like because apparently this little white girl can't handle anything, even though she did this too. Is like, yeah, it's unfair. And then it's also a part where it's like, as this goes on, and as it continues, it's like, one person is a very good college women's basketball player. The other one is one of the greatest women's college basketball players of all time. The other one was, one of them was a 7th pick in a draft class. The other one was the 1st overall pick. The other one is a fringe all-star. The other one is going to be a perennial MVP candidate. It's only going to get worse and worse and worse and worse if we continue down this road. Like, this isn't, people talk about this as a rivalry, but it's not really a rivalry in the context of them singularly. It was a rivalry in the context of they played each other twice in national champions in Final Fours because one had a better team than the other. But this is not like the 2003 draft class where LeBron goes first and Carmelo goes third, and you say this could be the next Magic in Larry Bird, because she's not Carmelo Anthony, and Carmelo Anthony wasn't Larry Bird. If you catch my drift, like even that rivalry, after we went on the time, we're like, oh yeah, that was kind of stupid. We did this when it came to Carmelo and LeBron. This is like, okay, we are now through like 1 year and 1 day in their careers, and it's like, you look back and you should all be like, why are we even still doing this?
Like, you would think, and I blame the media in a lot of it last year with like how they were trying to cook the Rookie of the Year race early on when like we fucking knew what the truth was, and they tried to play that shit up to keep it going, but it was like at the end of the day, Angel Reese just isn't like that as far as like, the skill.
She's a certain level of player.
She's a certain level. Like Caitlin Clark is one of the 4 or 5, 3 best players in the league.
She finished fourth. No, you can say it. She finished 4th in MVP voting last year as a rookie.
Angel Reese is barely a top 25 player in the league. There's 156 players in the league. So like, and then when you talk about like team construction and stuff like that, just like remove like her individual like skills out of it, right? You're asking this person to be the best player on the team. Her skill set does not fit that. You will not win with her shooting 35% at the rim. It is impossible.
Right.
With like no like type of guards or anything like that. She does not have a competent front office. Like, it's clearly been
maybe
demonstrated.
her play does increase if she had better guard play around her. Because obviously, because the WNBA is very old school basketball, and when you have big players, the better their guards are, the better they're going to play. That's definitely a part of this baked into the evaluation of Angel Reese. However, them guards ain't coming no time soon. If they do, it'll be next year or whatever else. But they're not coming this season.
And the thing is, like, I think the new coach Tyler Marsh wants to try to turn her into a ball handler to try to like make her like.
She made a 3, right? During this game.
She was mainly a 4, but they want to play.
No. Made a 3, not played 3.
She did make a 3. Yeah.
So they're trying to expand her game.
They want to try some like Ben Simmons stuff with her where she's like getting the ball and, you know, making decisions with it. I think that's kind of smart because obviously I don't think she's going to she doesn't have the moves to cook people. So it's like you got to try to be a playmaker somewhat. But I think the skills are they're just not at that top level. Like this is not Asia Wilson, obviously. This is not Brianna Stewart.
Right.
It's like you were starting with
Thomas. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you're starting with like the broken jump shot that you have to like get confidence in.
Right.
You have to do a lot of things, I think, to round. And that's why I projected her originally. I was like, oh, she could be like Tristan Thompson or something like that.
Like if she
that's what I always thought.
Like a valuable player on the right fit for the right team, but like she can't be the corner. She can be a part of the car, but she can't be the engine.
Correct. Meanwhile, like you look over at Indiana, it's like the fucking like the ship is built already. Like they're trying to sail and take the shit home this year. So it's gonna be more back and forth between them. This will not be the end. We'll be back on here, of course, doing, you know, more talking about it and all that. But you know, I talked about like, yo, obviously people need their dignity respected, obviously, from like all the shit that always surrounds them. And I don't know if it's them that can't handle it. I think it's a lot of like just people that can't handle it. And then it's like we talk about the wrestlers in WWE sometimes when they spark back at the fans or whatever. And it's like they're being hardened in this environment to basically shoot back or whatever. So like they're not necessarily going to shoot back at the fans, but they're going to just shoot at each other. So it's like, and they see this shit. Like, they ain't got nothing else to do when they traveling on them planes.
Yeah.
Of course they looking at this shit. Like, they'll say they're not, like, plugged in like that.
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I thought, like, this was probably, like, one of the simulations, like, after that foul, this is probably one of the better endings. Because this could have ended up in a fight. This could have ended up in, like,
would have been much of a fight.
Anything.
Do you think it would have been much of a fight? I don't think it would have been much of a fight.
It wouldn't have, and it would have just been the worst thing for America.
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been. She would have been female Kermit Washington.
It would have been. But some other stuff going on in the W. I watched a couple more games over the weekend. I watched Nafisa Collier take on the Dallas Wings.
Nafisa, you mean?
With the Lynx? No, Nafisa.
No, Nafisa.
I don't know what you're getting at.
Oh, you didn't see that logo or that graphic that W put up where they like misspelled Angel. They spelled Caitlin's name with the Y. They misspelled Angel's name, which is like, I don't know how you misspelled that fucking name. And they also left the I out of Nafisa's name. And I was like, yeah, this.
They need to get that shit right.
Y'all wanted more. Y'all wanted more visibility. Okay, this will come with the visibility. You fuck up, they on your ass.
Courtney Williams and Nafisa was out here like NBA Jam, like where you got the two players just going crazy. That's what they was doing to the Wings, and they also had another game in LA against the Sparks, I believe. Saw Paige Beckers. She didn't really have a great game. She had a much better game tonight. I saw the Liberty and the Aces. So
that was the second game or the first game of the doubleheader?
That was the first game.
Okay.
So I think the Aces, I think Asia Wilson is better than ever. She had 31 and 16. And,
well,
you know, she does what she wants. Like, she gets to the line. She lives at the line.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's always just going to fill it up. But, you know what they kind of remind me of? Like, it reminds me of, like, the Nuggets and, like, Jokic. It's like, yeah, they won the championship a couple years ago, whatever. They still got, like, this fucking great player in the middle of that shit. But, like, just everything around them can just go bad at. Like, there's not enough around them. And it's like they're trying to just peak back at that level where they were. And it was just like, it's going to take, it's either like physical decline or it's, just not the right pieces surrounding her. There's no real help as far as like another big on the floor.
Right.
So, and then meanwhile,
I wanted to ask you this. You mentioned that, but like at least the Nuggets had, or I haven't gotten to the point where they're like, we're going to trade Jamal Murray yet. The Aces did that this offseason.
And Jewel Lloyd did not look good, and I was like, vindication, because I was like, I don't see this going well, trying to fit into this, like, because I was just thinking about, I was going through a player list with a friend of mine named Mark, and I believe they had Jewel Lloyd listed above Kelsey Plum, or I was talking to somebody, I forgot who it was, and I was like,
okay, well, we saw them on Team USA, and one played, the other one did not.
There's that. I was like, well, Kelsey Plum is about to become the number one option, and she came out on some James Harden shit.
Yep.
Like
35, 37.
Yeah, and I'm like, so Jewel Lloyd is going to be the third best player at best, right? So it's like
Jackie Young at all. Yeah.
So, and I think she shot like 2 or 10 or something like that. The Liberty, I think they've kind of even been transformed a higher level now. Like their defense was always kind of, I felt like you could be had, like people could do what they want and score on them, but now they got Natasha Cloud.
Can we explain, can we talk about why?
I mean, Sabrina not guarding nobody.
Yes, I just want, I like Sabrina. I just wanted to, some of these point guards can't hold up a point of attack. When we talk about, I don't mean to, I'm not trying to start a trip. We talk about like, Caitlin Clark or Kelsey Plum or Sabrina Ionescu is like, hey, these cones.
Kelsey Plum can guard. Kelsey Plum can guard, but not like Natasha Howard though.
Right.
Or excuse me, Natasha Cloud. Natasha Cloud's coming into the Liberty and she's a Caitlin stopper. Like I already see down the road what they're doing. Like Cloud is going to be all over her, and she's going to be kind of like a Drew Holiday variant to you drop her in, like, been there before, a champion, can shoot, can get hot, streaky, plays into the crowd. She had an awesome game. It was pretty much all about her on Saturday. Sabrina didn't really play well. Stewart was okay, but this was like the Natasha Cloud coming out part. And I was like, she's going to make them real tough. And now Sabrina ain't got to guard nobody most nights.
Must be nice.
And with the loss of Betnijah Laney Hamilton, who was their Caitlin Garter and much bigger than her and was more like a small forward, Cloud fits right in, and they still got Fee-Bitch. So, like, they still have tons of size. They still have Sabali. They still have Jones, obviously. So, like, they're going to be tough. Like, and they just handled the Aces. Like, the Aces look like they're Asia Wilson, and, like, which one of y'all is going to step up tonight? That's what it feels like. So,
gotcha.
Little bit worried about like where the Aces are, but Asia's going to be like lights out. Like it's going to be.
Yeah, but at a certain point, like last year was like, yeah, she's putting up the best numbers of her career, but it's also at the expense of like the part where they were short on the roster with Chelsea being out for so long, and it was like, all right, well that's great that she's expanding her game and she's bringing the ball up and that kind of stuff, but it's like, all right. It's kind of like the Jokic, like when you have, what do you call it, heliocentric, right? It's like when you start super serving your best player is like, yeah, the numbers are going to look great and all that kind of stuff, but this also comes at the expense of like wear and tear and also like possible offensive stagnation, and development of younger players, and like it's going to be easier to guard them when it comes to the playoffs. And like, and the W is like, you're already playing already playing like basically the playoffs because every single team is super loaded with talent, concentrated with talent. But it's like, then you get to playoffs and it's like, now it's like, you're basically starting in the second round, compared to the NBA, where it's like, damn, you can't fuck around at all. So, I worry about that, and I worry about like, you told me you thought they had like the third best. You put them like third for like as far as like contenders.
In my preseason rank, I put them at 3.
that's why I always, you know more than I do, but I was kind of curious about that because it seems like they're taking to me an obvious step back this year.
Yeah, I'm gonna give them a couple games because we're gonna learn a lot obviously about the Fever this week because Fever got the Dream twice. I'm going to the Dream game Thursday here, and then the Liberty are playing the Fever Saturday. But that's gonna be a huge game. So,
do you think that the Fever, when they get the chance to play Connecticut Sun, now that team's been basically dismantled, they finna beat the hell out of them for all the hell they were put through last year? Do you think Caitlin Clark be like, y'all used to beat me like a Cherokee drum? Now I have the stick.
Look, I think there's gonna be some of that. But also, like, and it's funny because I took y'all best player and I took y'all head coach and brought him with me. But she's gonna be going around the league because that team's been broken up in pieces. When she plays Phoenix, you see Alyssa Thomas when they play the Wings and DJ Carrington's there and Alyssa Smith. Oh my God, and Paige. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a big subplot game for the Fever. With those characters there. I don't mean characters dismissively. But
Collier looked great. Collier looked like unstoppable. Like she's trying to win an MVP, and I think like kind of how Asia was positioned last year, kind of from the jump, where it was like it felt like the media was like, "Here you go. All you got to do is grab it." Like it seems like Collier's got a similar push like that this year.
So, but, is it because Cloud's going that you think the links aren't? You won't put the links in that kind of bar where they were last year on that tier?
Who's gone?
Cloud, right?
Cloud.
Who did they lose?
Cloud.
Who did the Lynx lose?
The Lynx did not lose anybody really worth it. They lost a bench player named Maisha Himes-Allen, but most of everybody else is back. So, the only thing is Caleb McBride hasn't played yet this season.
Okay. That's who I'm thinking of? Okay. All right.
But yeah.
Right, well.
What I'm trying to think of anything else that is kind of a worthy kind of subplot that's going on. My man Black Sabre Jr., his sparks are out there. Lipstick Ball. The Valkyrie have a nice home arena, very loud crowd. They're gonna lose a ton of games, but they're gonna it's gonna be fun kind of watching them because I think they're trying to tank, but they had the whole thing with all the international players. They got people that's not playing, that are not coming over. It's something funny going on. I think they're trying to tank for 2 years so they can get Juju. So
my question is, how are they ever get free agents?
They'll get somebody eventually.
Well, yeah, because it's just like saying why would any black player play at University of Mississippi? It's because everybody wants a job, everyone wants a scholarship. I get that, but I mean when are they ever going to be given that it's a big market, you would assume they would be a place that people want to play, but the cost of living, the offset cost of living, with the salaries it's going to be so hard. So I imagine places where I would love to live there, but I can't afford to live here.
Well, that's why the new CBA, whenever that gets done, everyone's a free agent this coming year anyway. So the whole league is going to be free agents next year. And by the time the new CBA gets ratified, I imagine there's more money to spend then. But
okay,
one can hope.
One can hope. Because I'll tell you this right now: if Caitlin Clark Age was going to be making less than $1 million next year, it's going to be or it comes in this is a bit ridiculous. They're selling shoes, you know what I'm saying? They're selling shoes. I finally saw the different colorways of the A1s. The ones in blue, I like them more than the pink ones. And I thought the pinks were, because they obviously that old Air Max vibe. But so but they looked hard anyway. But the blues were yeah, okay.
They're two-tone blue, right? It's a dark blue and a light blue. Yeah,
it's it's a light blue. Yeah, I mean that's kind of what the different versions of the pink on the original colorway. But I like those. But it's the blues are okay. If they put these out in red, I might get them.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. One more thing. There actually is going to be a Rookie of the Year race this year. Sonya Citron
and girls.
And it looks like Erie Finn might be good. I may have got that one wrong. I thought she wasn't going to be that good, but
where did she play?
Sonya Citron's ready to go. USC. She played with Juju.
Okay.
So they lost. Unfortunately, they lost Georgia A. Moore. They would have had 3 rookies probably going crazy, and they're probably going to end up a lot better than it looks like. I think Chicago's headed down. I think Dallas is going to be a long year, and I think Washington's going to go up. And I think the Valkyries even have a chance of like getting out of the last place spot. But we'll see.
Okay.
Very, very excited to go to my first game this week, so I'll let you guys know how it is. I'll probably take some video, do a vlog or whatever. But
are you going by yourself?
No.
Are you going who I think you're going with?
Yeah.
Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! It could be hell for y'all. It could be hell for y'all. It really could. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
Every game is a home game for the Fever.
Clark jersey.
Look, every game a home game for the Fever.
You need to buy that shirt. You need to buy that shirt. I do like that shirt. It's nasty because it's real nasty, and I appreciate it. Like if there was someone that was drawing like that in the NBA, like somebody on their team, somebody from whatever NBA franchise will make that shirt and it will sell. And man, if you go to MSG wearing that shirt, they might throw trashy like how they threw trashy buddy wearing the Halliburton shirt. But yeah, that's a nasty shirt and I like it. I do like the nastiness. I do. Because all the good spirit, and it's also the truth. You know,
so onto the MNBA. So we've got the Western and Eastern Finals locked in.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, the Denver Nuggets lost in the 7th game. Did not get to see my dream of Russell Westbrook win the championship happen. Unfortunately,
I mean that's why they have NBA 2K, brother. You can go ahead and sim that.
Yeah,
you can make your dreams a reality.
Yep. So, unfortunately, that's not going to happen. And we got to watch Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the Canadian, go through. And I got to say,
there's nothing wrong with Canadians. It's just Drake is weird. This is it. That's it.
I don't know. Look, he in the video with Drake. So, that leads me to think, them boys get down together,
So you need to say, you want to ask Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Baca's got a weird case. Why is he around? That's what you want to do?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So what I'm saying is, James,
that's somewhat fair. Somewhat.
Anthony Edwards needs to win this for the United States of America.
Oh my God!
Himself. He cannot allow that nigga to walk to the final. No, Anthony Edwards, you cannot allow this.
Keep in mind, Rudy Gobert's on the other team. I guess we just forgot that.
Anthony Edwards.
Newly found, legally documented deadbeat Rudy Gobert.
Look, we can see the leadership. He already willing to follow Ant one way, follow him to the victory.
Oh my God.
He wants to be a deadbeat too, like Ant. All right, be a winner too. Shit. But yeah, the Wolves got to win this. They got to win it. I don't like nothing about the Thunder. Nope. Except Alex Caruso. That's about it. I don't got no problem with Chet either. So
I like Chet when he's not in his head. I think him and Jalen Williams, dark skinned Jalen had like a lot of they were very much in their head. I feel like the zone, like it's a young team, so I'm willing to cut the benefit of the doubt. Right, like young team, they don't necessarily know what to do with a zone or attack a zone, and obviously, like eventually at certain points they were able to figure out how to attack the zone when they were getting like these lobs and so the dunker spot to Chet or actually both sides, or also weak side run-ins too for rebounding, but like I think they'll get better with time if they're allowed to play together, if not for this fucking CBA, but yeah, they were the better team. They blew 2 games they should not have blown. So this turned into a series. And then ultimately, at home, after really shitting a brick in the first 10 minutes of the game, they unfucked themselves and they put the game away only thing I can say is I think they're the best team left. And I will move on from that to say, to talk about the Nuggets. You think that's fair to talk about Nuggets now?
Sure.
Yeah, I think that this was really the way I look at it anyway. Given how man they were, given the turmoil where they had their GM and their coach fired 2 weeks or a week before the season ended, before going into the postseason, they win a game 7 against the Clippers. And like that was a series where it felt like while watching them, it was like they kind of stole that series too. To get to another series, another game 7, to potentially still against a 68-win team, they come out there with Michael Porter Jr. playing the series with a bum shoulder. He's not worth a damn. They're out here playing like only 6 guys that are proven / rotation players on any other team in the playoffs right now. Aaron Gordon is playing game 7 on all the dope
shit.
with a grade 2 hamstring tear or sprain, which means it's torn, which means he shouldn't be playing at all. He should be sitting down for like 2 to 4 weeks and be reevaluated before he probably comes back in 6 weeks. They really pushed this. This felt like they put all their chips in, and they kind of realized, hey, we won the title 2 years ago. This might be the last time we're all together in this kind of with Porter, Jokic, Murray, Braun. Like it felt like this. They realized like this is the last. This is like the last thing before management / ownership breaks his team up. And I gotta say I commend them for being able to even get to 7. Given that they were just, we have clowned other teams like this for like running out of gas like this, but like they didn't, like that Clippers team in 2015 when they were only playing like 7 rotation players and they ran out of gas completely against the Rockets, is like they had a 3-2 lead. That's different. This is a team, and this was a team that actually has had long playoff runs as opposed to those Clippers teams
and won something. Yeah,
right. This is and they didn't have a lead. They were playing a team they were absolutely not better than. Like the Clippers were better than the Rockets. They just blew that series. This is a team that they were clearly inferior to and was able to almost steal this. And I gotta say, like, I got a lot of respect for it. Was an ugly ass series. I don't think either star player played up consistently to their MVP status between Shea and Jokic, but it's also a lot of it came down to both of these teams were adjusting to what each team could do at particular times, and both of these said, "Fuck it, we are just basing on a clog the middle and congest the paint and make it to where." Jokic, you gotta go score. If you're gonna go score on Chet or on Caruso, you gotta do it over the top because we're gonna put bodies for you to see in front, and we're gonna clear off these pass lanes and cut lanes. And whenever you do, or whenever you are able to get find a cutter in Westbrook or Braun, they finna see a forest of long arms, and they're not even gonna want to get to the rim. They're gonna just want to kick it out, and it's gonna be Aaron Gordon, or it's gonna be somebody else shooting up a shot that you're okay living with. And that same thing that happened with at times when the Thunder struggled. It was like Shea is out here seeing like Spurs 2007 Spurs defense versus LeBron. We dare anybody else out here to make a fucking play and we dare anybody else not to shit their pants. And for a lot of that series, everybody else was shitting their pants except for Shea. So I thought this was one of those series where like it came down to the very end. I'm kind of somewhat impressed that neither one of these teams completely shit the bed. Like I thought it was one where like the better team won. They went to 7. They both showed their flaws, but at the end of it, you come away being like, all right, I think now the Thunder they're war tested now. This is the series where you'd be like, they finally beat somebody where we respect it. We'd be like, all right, I'm not surprised at all if they just win now. And then I go away with feeling like, a former champion went out on their sword in an honorable way because they were completely outmatched in this series athletically. And also with the rest and the health stuff. They were beat to hell at the end.
Yeah. So Wolves or Thunder? I'm going with the Wolves. I think the Wolves got I think that rest helped them. They'll go into this next series. And I just think Anthony Edwards is going to take it as a personal challenge that he's the best guard on the floor. And
I can see that.
You ain't going to. So, and between Julius Randle's going to challenge them kids if they ask them if they want to be men.
That's the one thing that I think that they have the advantage. And also they do play them pretty well. They do play the Thunder pretty well, and that's because of the size advantage inside. Like not height, but like just the weight room size advantage. Like you have Randall, you have Nas, you have Randall. And like those guys, the same thing when we talk about, Chet, it's like there's a reason why they made an adjustment to put Caruso there. It's like skinny man, tall man, not big man. And that's gonna be an issue. Like I think you're gonna have to play I think you're gonna play light skinned Jalen Williams in this series against Randall to be able to match up this strength and size issue. Like I don't think they're gonna be able to get away with, Lou Dort. I don't think it's gonna work.
I was gonna say, can you imagine the amount of dirty shit that Lou Dort and Alex Caruso are about to do to Anthony Edwards to try to slow him down?
Well, the Caruso dirty stuff wasn't dirty stuff. He just flat out fouling because you know how it is. Like the NBA has legislated for years, tall or small guy, size disadvantage, big guy with the ball can basically get away with damn near anything as long as it's below the shoulders. That's kind of how it's going for a long time. Right. And it wasn't just Caruso, it was Caruso, fronting and at the point of attack with Jokic, but there's like, you see off the ball or in the back line, you see Chet sitting there at the rim. It's like, if he tries this shit and turns over his left shoulder, Chet's gonna swat that shit. Like, so it was team defense, but people don't watch team defense when they're watching, NBA basketball, unless you're a nerd like me. So I get it. But it don't mean the Caruso didn't do a hell of a job, because that shit's exhausting. That's a big motherfucker to be doing that with all game. Like he's literally in a heavyweight bout as a middleweight. Or not a middleweight, but probably like a cruiserweight. You know what I'm saying? The whole time. Or actually a super heavyweight. Super heavyweight versus a cruiserweight the whole time. That's a hell of a task. And that ain't, there ain't no rounds for this, right? That's a whole 48 minutes for Caruso.
How long can you stand up? Like,
yeah.
How long can you keep coming back? Then we got Pacers Knicks on the other side in the Eastern Conference Finals, 1990 series here.
Yeah.
The last series on TNT. Rematch from last year. Reggie Miller will be on the call and everything like that. I imagine he'll
last telecast for last series for Turner and Inside the NBA. Yep. I mean, so look, regardless of whoever wins, it's still a celebration.
Yeah,
we are done with them. We'll be rid of them forever. Hopefully.
So this is going to be a hard one because it's like the Pacers beat them last year. And Towns is here now, so maybe things are a little different.
It's amazing.
I don't know. I'm feeling like the Knicks, man. Why not the Knicks?
I don't know who's winning this series. I feel like, I thought all year that Towns was a better piece or fit for the Knicks than Randall was. And I mean, it turned out this was one of those trades where actually both teams benefited. Like, I thought we were going to get Knicks Randall with Timberwolves, and the fact we got a motivated Randall and is playing the best basketball of his life right now that just put Draymond in a fucking grill for a whole series or in a pack for a whole series. Yeah, man. I think they're a better team. Like, I still think it's a close series. I don't think we're going to a game 7 where one team gets blown out. I think this is going to go 7 games, and whoever happens to have the last shot, and if it goes in, they win. I think it's going to be a really close series. And I'm surprised that, in a weird way, I thought the Knicks were going to be better in the postseason before the season started. I thought it would be better in the postseason than we're going to be in the regular season. They're going to be a better postseason team. I don't feel like I've necessarily seen that in the eye test that they're a better team, but the results have been better, right? Like, I mean, aside from, getting down 20 points in three different fucking games, but against a team better than them, but whatever. Like, it happened. Like, they were able to overcome those leads. I'm still kind of iffy on them because, like, why I say I don't feel like they've passed the eye test or look actually being improved is like, that's still a lot of Jalen Brunson having to make magic happen in these games. I thought that having Towns would alleviate some of that, but it's a lot of last year's, magical or, winning formula. And I'm still one of those guys. I'm sorry. Like, I understand that, over the last 20 years, like small guards, they can do better in the postseason, the regular season, actually become star players, more of them can become star players. I'm still always dubious of small guards in the playoffs. Always. So yeah, I think it'll be a close series. I think it's a coin flip series, honestly.
Yeah. The thing with the Pacers is they just have so many guys that just get unconscious from three, and then like Pascal Siakam's a champion, been there, done it before.
Yep.
And
that's
it is
another part
really
about it. Siakam's on one side, OG's on the other side.
Look at that.
Yeah.
The guts of that Raptors team.
Yeah.
Just hanging there. Interesting.
The guts of that Raptors team just hanging. What a euphemism. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I bet if we looked around, we could see like guys that have just been, winning players that have been in situations that have kind of redistributed themselves to these teams.
Yeah.
That are in the Final Four.
I mean, hell, like look at Drew Holiday last year from the Bucks to the Celtics. I mean that's not an uncommon thing. I mean that's a Robert Horry thing, right? Like you find a winning player, he ends up going around winning other. Hell, Caruso on the Thunder. That's another one.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Yep. But then, yeah, man. So either way, it should be pretty interesting. I'm excited. New faces, and this is kind of what we call for. The start. I was like, yo, we need, we need people to get beat, and we need we need to let these guys have a step forward, essentially.
Would you feel,
and go through the motherfuckers on the way?
Would you feel better if?
I'm sad about Steph, though. I'm very sad about Steph didn't get a chance.
Bad injury luck. It happened, man.
Yeah.
And,
because part of me thinks he could have just.
He's been on some good sides.
Just got on fire.
He's been on some good sides of it. He's been on some bad sides of it. Like, this year, 2019, he's on the bad side of it. Some other years he has some help or some not help, but he has some good luck. Like 2015. It happens. Like it happens to everybody. Good luck, bad luck, right? Like think of the Spurs, right? Like. They've had over that whole Tim Duncan run, right? You had times where they had, the what do you call it? The Steve Nash thing happens. And then other times where it's like, oh, Manu's not doing, or he has some type of injury or whatever. Like shit happens over the course of a long career. Like, this ain't no video game. The injuries and, the shit happens and it happens at an inopportune time. Right. Yeah. So, I was going to ask you a question.
Couldn't win.
So you were talking about you want new storylines, new faces, whatever else, and at the end of the year, and we were getting that. Do you think that we would possibly be in a better position, or as far as fan interest? I'm watching the basketball regardless. I don't give a shit. I'm a hardcore. I don't care about the casuals. Do you think there'd be more interest if Shea and Ant were on opposite sides of the brackets? If they had the potential to meet in the finals, opposed to they have to play in the Western Conference in the Final Four, you think people have more buzz around it if that was the case?
I don't think it would matter.
Okay,
I think these matchups are so new that, and it's the third round, so like now the matchups are so new. I think history needs to be built towards that. Now, one day could one of them switch conferences or something, and I think that's when it would be. It would need to be like a rematch or something.
Okay, I because people know these names. Like you say, the three most people, you'd be like the three most famous people left in the playoffs. You'd be like, okay, Brunson and SGA, right? People know those are household names to the regular person that like follows American sports, right? At this point, but I think a lot of people don't know what to do with the Thunder. I don't think they've known what to do with the Thunder the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Like, so I think a lot of people are seeing the first time and they're kind of like, oh, as I mentioned, like, I thought that seeing the Thunder and the Cavs, whatever, had the potential to knock people off, like knock off some name brands was going to help them, in the, what do you call it? The buzz department or whatever else. The Thunder, I mean, they knocked off the Nuggets, but people call the Nuggets boring or whatever else was nonsense. But that's not the same thing as like it's different.
I mean, you know what
being
that
the
is.
Spurs different than being the Shaq and Kobe, or being the Tim Duncan Spurs different than being the Shaq and Kobe Lakers, right? In this case, that'd be the Warriors or the Lakers this year. If they had beat either one, would have been a big thing. I think there was some buzz that like that the Timberwolves got from knocking off Lakers, knocking off Golden State, even if Steph wasn't around. I think that does, people are throwing around the buzzy stuff with Ant again, and it's like, I mean, those he beat some name brands. I don't think that means he's gonna beat the Thunder. The Thunder got like 11 good fucking players. But we'll see.
I'm gonna throw my hat in on the Wolves. I always like how they're built. Like, it's like Ant and being a tank himself around all these tall guys and a left-handed point guard. It's very Kobe Bryant era Laker-ish, late 2000s, just with tall, skilled people around him. And, wish he had that much shooting, but
I just how do I say this? I don't know who's supposed to be guarding SGA.
I mean, is Ant
that's
going to accept the challenge and he gonna wear himself out?
Say again?
I was like, it's either what's the famous Anthony Edwards line? They got they got Kevin Durant. We got
Jaden McDaniels.
They got Jaden McDaniels.
What's your boy named Walker too? I mean, they got the body types, but like it ain't the same thing as like when OKC can throw like 6 guys that are in that right size height profile for like the throw at Anthony Edwards. Not to say it's gonna like wear him out, but it's like they can give him a bunch of different looks. Like I don't think there's many looks for them to give SGA outside of saying we finna just pack this shit like we did, like the Nuggets did.
Have you thought about the fact that they could burn Madison Square Garden down if the Knicks win the championship?
Burn it down? Oh, in celebration?
Yeah.
I mean, I never really thought about it because I still think whoever wins the West is winning. But I mean, hell, they might burn it down if they get to the finals. So I mean, that's still that's still a proposition that holds. Yeah.
So funny.
But I mean, I would say this, right? For those that are,
I need that Atlanta nigga walking around New York and say I don't give a fuck about no New York. I want to see it.
Ain't gonna go the same way as it went after he beat the Lakers. I promise you it won't. Like I don't want to have to see Anthony Edwards knock some niggas out. I just don't, because he might knock out 2 of them, but it ain't gonna be one versus. It ain't gonna be It ain't gonna be 100 versus the gorilla. It ain't gonna go that way. So, yeah, man. It's gonna be fun. Game 1 for West Conference Final starts tomorrow, so it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, the network thing, so that's why the East is starting after. But yeah, should be fun. Like, I guess someday eventually we'll get the announcement for whoever wins MVP, even though we haven't got it yet. I don't know why. Yeah, I think Shea was already winning it, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Oh. I need Ant to do this. Do this for me. Yeah, it can't be having this shit. But what else? Willow Nightingale onto the wrestling. Willow Nightingale it was announced that she was a free agent on Monday, people kind of went into hysterics and started, you know what happens when people get announced that their deal is up or coming up or whatever. This one I had no particular worry about at all. I don't even think I sent a message in any group chat like, hey, I think, this might such and such go on a Doom post and all. I was like, she's not going nowhere. She locked in. And it came out Wednesday that she resigned.
Yeah. So I didn't have much of a worry either, unless it was some last second thing. You showed me the historical comparisons of someone that looks like Willow Nightingale doing well in WWE. Find me one.
I mean, Nia Jax is kind of like in unprecedented territory herself.
But Nia Jax is related to,
that is true.
They're kayfabe. She's kayfabe related to.
She's on the tree,
right? Or like the Fatu's Anois, right? Like
she's on the chart.
Yeah. It's flimsy once you see that chart, as I mentioned before in the past multiple times. But still, like she has some stroke. And even while saying that, they fired her before.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I just it just don't really hold up. And also, it's like Nia Jax and Willow Nightingale are not the same thing. Willow Nightingale is a hoss. Nia is a monster. They're different roles. So, I just never thought that it was a real threat. I don't see how that fits for her. Like that seems like someone to be like, yeah, she comes in immediately and she's like one of the 5 best wrestlers in that division, but they want to put her in NXT. Right.
Disgusting.
Right. Yeah. And it's like, no, like, so I thought that like, given, what she's done in the company, what she still had left, it made sense for there was unfinished business, storyline wise for her to continue this. And I thought like, I didn't think she was going anywhere. I didn't think it was a real threat. Like it's totally, I think it's totally different from the Mariah May stuff. You know what I mean? Like I feel like Mariah May is headed to WWE. It seems like that's an actual thing.
Yeah.
Like Willow Nightingale did not give off the same type of vibe as far as just it seems like she's already wrapped up and she's ready to move on. No. It didn't seem like that at all.
Yeah, lots of stuff to do with her as far as like, whenever she gets a shot to go towards the belt, like a real one, whenever you want to continue her and Statlander thing, which seemed like it has unlimited chapters.
Yes. Just like every other great Joshi feud, right, Rich?
Yeah, unlimited chapters. So,
yes.
Whenever stats up, I would imagine they would similarly lock her in. So, but yeah, happy to see she's not going nowhere. And
same.
Yeah, I just did not get the vibe. So, some things I'm not privy to discuss on air. But
I don't have any inside knowledge. I'm just looking at stuff at face value, and it just seemed like the way like you kind of like the way the wind was blowing was like it seemed like she's staying. They were retaining her, and we continue with keeping on smiling, and we'll have some more fun with watching her wrestle. She's fun to watch.
Absolutely. They have AEW Double or Nothing coming up this weekend. Obviously, we had Dynamite. I'll go through the results.
I'm sorry. I just saw the chat. And someone mentioned, said Glamour, and it made me think of the Glam Squad or whatever else. Now, could you imagine how they would have tried to do Willow's hair in WWE? You imagine the amount of heat it would have put on her hair to straighten it out because they were like, we don't like that look. Could we do something with the look? Could we do something different with the look? No, fuck that.
I knew where you were going before you even finished the sentence. I was like, Lamp, the WWE, oh my God, what would they do to her?
It would not have been good. The hair and makeup there would not have been good. Well, no, I know the hair and makeup would not have been good because Charlotte Flair outsources her work now. We found that out recently that she outsources her work.
That's funny.
Yes.
That's funny.
And no, absolutely not.
Funny thing I saw with Charlotte this week that apparently Julia's on SmackDown and she was introduced to Charlotte in the hallway, and I was like, oh my God, if they ever do a match, we might be getting one of the most stiff matches in WWE history, like, because I know Charlotte ain't going for the bullshit and I know Julia ain't going for the bullshit either, so yes, we indeed did get Box Bridge Julia. We got the discourse that we prepped for years ago. I ignored all of it because in 2025, when Nazism is being openly advocated for in these public streets, I think I have better things to do than to litigate hair. Just saying. I don't want to do it.
Look,
someone else can have that bat.
I don't think we ever had this conversation on air, but like me and you have talked about this going back to Hana, to Hannah Kimura's hair when she started doing it in 19. It was like, hey, I don't know what the situation is over there as far as what their awareness is of box braids or braiding their hair or whatever else. It makes me feel uneasy in a way, and the other way is like at the same time you mentioned ultimately at the end of the day I just go back to it's hair. If they want to get traction alopecia, that's on them.
DJ Lee, Stevie Lambo, I'm staying out of women's business. Correct.
Right. He's like, I remember one time, I think it was Dan Le Batard, was talking about like, he was talking to Cal Ripken Jr. and he says, do you have opinions on politics? And Cal Ripken goes, yeah. And then Dan asks him, can I hear him? And Cal Ripken says, nope. Like, just like that. Like, do you have opinions about Julia and Runi Yamashita or Hana Kimura when they had braids? Yep. Do you want to expound on them really, really far? Not really. No, not really. Like those that don't like it, I get it. Am I going to be right by your side on the brigade to get them to take that shit out their hair? I don't think so. I don't think I care enough. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they don't rank high enough.
Like
for
I
me.
mentioned, if they want to let that shit take their or ruin their hair, that's on them.
They'll be in the club with you, James.
Speaking of being follicularly challenged, right? So, tell me why. What's your boy's name that you sent me the video of him and his NBA stuff? You sent me his stuff in the past about the W.
About the W.
Los. Is it Los? Black dude, glasses, kind of big.
Low. His
Low.
Legend of Winning.
Yeah, Legend of Winning. Tell me why I watched a few of his videos, because like the Tatum one was hilarious, right? I started watching a few of them. So when he was slandering, like he was slandering Jokic, slandering SGA, slandering Tatum for like their struggles in the last round of the playoffs, I watched like 3 in a row, and then almost immediately, I started getting advertisements for like stuff like hair regrowth stuff. And I was like, I don't live with this kind of shame. My hair does not grow like it used to, and I'm okay with shaving it. I'm not trying to regrow it. I don't care. Because another part of it is like, I've already shaved my hair's been shaved for a long time. If I show back up with a line, it's gonna look crazy.
You like Jadakiss?
I am not Jadakiss.
Hold on.
No.
I saw a post on Twitter. I actually wanted to ask you about it because there was like, I think somebody said Bobby Lashley is just as bald as Ricochet. Why y'all don't give him no shit? But like, I know Bobby has a medical condition, like
yes, he has alopecia.
With that stuff.
His eyebrows are like tattooed on. He doesn't have eyebrows. He doesn't have real eyebrows. Those are tattoos, I believe. Yes.
Yeah.
But besides the point, Bobby Lashley's character.
What's the energy?
Bobby Lashley's gimmick isn't that he's bald and he has shame from him being bald. He just bald, right? Like.
He walks in it.
Like, you can make bald jokes about Ricochet, and he makes jokes about himself, and he puts spots in to get his bald head slapped. That's part of the character, right? Like, the other week I saw something like, he should be on Best Gimmick, and it should say Ricochet bald, right? You can, but it won't make sense. You can't do Bobby Lashley bald. It'd be Bobby Lashley hurt business. Like, him being bald is secondary too. Like, that's not part of his character. That is what his hairstyle is. Ricochet's character is bald. Like, his character is about being bald and him being, like being, you can laugh at him. He gets upset when you talk about him being bald. It frustrates him when you call him bald. When you make the bald chance, he reacts to them. That's the difference, right? So yeah, like, that's the difference. Like, I am more in the Bobby Lashley what do you call it? The Bobby Lashley side of it than the Ricochet. Like, you call me bald and be like, yeah, let's joke about it. I don't have hair. It is what it is. I don't give a shit. I got gray hair too. It happens.
This King of the North says this has been Bald Man Analysis with James Boyd. So
that's exactly what it is.
Right. Quickly go through the results here.
To me, there's nothing worse when you see the dudes, right? I ain't getting into no names, but like, you see the dudes and they always wearing hats, right? And it's like, I've seen you without a hat on. I know how you wearing hats all the time. You are ashamed of yourself. Why are you ashamed of yourself?
LL Cool J.
There's nothing you can do about it.
Hey, LL Cool J always got a hat on.
I never thought about that. But yeah, bro, it's like,
he's always got a hat on, bro.
True.
He's been in a barbershop and he's got a hat on, bro. Yeah. Like they was cutting him while he was wearing the hat.
I did. All right.
I can find it, bro. I swear it exists.
I believe you. I believe you.
But, yeah, man. Go through the results of Dynamite real quick. There was Will Ospreay and Heyman Page defeated Takeshita and Josh Alexander in a fucking spectacular match. Featured like this super finisher that Ospreay and Heyman had. There was that sliding spot where Ospreay pulled up on the hidden blade. That was real dope. They had Ricochet and Zach Gowen. Bro, I had never seen Zach Gowen went back in the old days, so I didn't know what to expect.
You never saw any of the clips of him and Lesnar?
I've only seen him getting like thrown into the ring
stairs?
post. I never seen him actually work a match or anything.
Okay.
So I saw that shit and I was like, so this is how somebody would wrestle with one leg. I was like, salute to him for figuring it out. But nice little win for Ricochet. Hurt Syndicate beat Top Flight and just killed them. MJF got Bobby Lashley's approval to join the Hurt Syndicate in a angle that I am rapidly getting more concerned about how much it is picking up steam.
Oh, how it's getting over?
Yes.
Well, I mean, what do you call it? MJF's really good at getting over something that has nothing to do with actual like matches. And then we have to port it into the matches, or the story has to get poured into the matches. Then you sometimes get problems. But this is kind of still at a point where we don't know what the match is yet, or the program is actually. So I'm okay with it for now. But there's just a history of it being problematic. So I see why you have your antennas up. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just like, I can see it. And it's like, if this motherfucker like swindles his way back to the top, he's getting all these 9 o'clock segments.
Mm-hmm.
I'm warning y'all now. I don't feel good about this. So laugh.
I would feel good about the part that we're like only 6 weeks away from All In. So
yeah,
he can't jump into the main event. He can't jump into the main event.
Oh, not yet. Yeah, no.
Yeah. That's more of a concern for. That's more of a concern for Full Gear. That's actually bad. It's more of a concern for like World's End when that man shows up. You get that Darby Allin versus MJF world title match.
Wow. AEW Women's World Title match, Eliminator, Toni Storm, Azumi, Mina Shirakawa, and Sky Blue. Nice of Big Zoom to just show up on Turner Broadcast Television.
Whenever she got time for a schedule,
Big Zoom come through. I know my man Niagara Driver threw something at the screen. I don't if he was watching, doubt he was, but Mina Shirakawa came out with some new music that she worked on herself that probably everybody was like, what the fuck is that? They were tagging Mikey Ruckus, and he was essentially copping pleas. He was like, I had nothing to do with this. Everyone wanted Dancehall Kuduro. People were messaging me. Did I have anything to do with the Mina Shirakawa theme? I did not.
And I was actually involved in that one, and yes, I did. And I thought it was shade.
No. Well, I was like, nah, like, if I would have had a Mina Shirakawa theme, that person would have already known about it. But,
right.
Then, we did this match. It's Mina Shirakawa's intro. Oh, Sky Blue was there too, by the way. Returning back to Chicago. She, I saw her in a some modeling thing in Atlanta or something this past weekend. I think, she should see where that takes her, 4-way. We got Mina getting the win over Toni Storm. So they've kind of set up these 4-ways the last couple of weeks have kind of finally paid off here. Mina beats Toni Storm here. I think this is just Challenger of the Month stuff.
Yes.
That if you introduce Mina right here and just beat her like immediately in, I don't necessarily like it, but Tony's kind of beat everyone else.
And to be fair, they do have the history with Mariah stuff dating back to last year.
Which they had to describe without mentioning Mariah May. I don't know if you noticed.
The telltale signs.
Yeah. So Azumi was walking to the back after the match. She got jumped by Mercedes, was pissed that she took the New Japan Strong Women's belt.
Yes.
And then Jamie Hayter came out to save Azumi, at Queen's Quest.
Which is hilarious because it's Oedo Tai, Queen's Quest, Old Country beef. They are not friends. Unless you want to say, you want to do the this is how WWE would describe it. Like, they're old days back in Stardom. It's like those two are on rivaling factions. They hate each other's guts. In my phone right now, I have a video from 2019, the end of 2019. I think it's from Tag League, where Jamie Hayter gave Azumi, who at the time was had just turned 17, recently freshly 17, one of the nastiest Ushi-Garoshis you've ever seen, followed up by an incredible lariat for a pinfall. So no, absolutely not. They were not friends at all.
But Azumi canonically in AEW is still part of Queen's Quest, so Queen's Quest still lives as she came out to that music.
I mean, it lives on in my heart every day, brother.
Yeah. So if we wanted, to celebrate Queen's Quest, you got to come to AEW to do it. So Garcia sets up Angle, kind of, and it basically ends up with Nigel McGuinness teaming with him against FTR. It's kind of funny how Danielson always was like the mentor to him, but now Nigel McGuinness steps in for Garcia there.
That's the heat.
Kind of funny.
You gotta poke. Poke at Danielson always.
So they're going to have a match at Double or Nothing. We'll talk about it in a minute. We had the steel cage match, Jon Moxley and Samoa Joe. I thought they punched and kicked each other a bunch and then bled. Very basic kind of match. Was just kind of there for me. I didn't go crazy for it or anything. They started having the baby faces run off the Death Riders as they tried to get in the cage and climb it. Hobbs will come out there. Willow will come out there. And this all kind of fucking culminates with like a bald white man just on the side of the cage with a hoodie on. And I'm like, who the fuck is that? Like, and then like he's slipping the briefcase in, slips into Moxley. Moxley hits him. Joe dies. And then he pulls the hood back. And I'm like, what kind of bloodline shit is this? And then I was like, this Gabe Kidd, what the fuck is he doing here? Like, so immediately there was a meltdown that happened on a certain section of Twitter and various discords. Gabe Kidd was here being a heel in AEW. The man hates AEW anyway, so it kind of makes sense. But James, I think they found out Gabe Kidd is a fake demon. And they're feeling betrayed. This man hates AEW so much. Have they been worked, James?
He hates AEW so much that he keeps showing up on AEW to wrestle there. Sir, correct. He was a young lion, correct?
Yes.
The yen is still down, correct?
We have to get Velkez to verify.
You get where I'm getting at. He's following the white guy to he's following the white guy in New Japan to AEW pipeline, like we always thought, which is why at the beginning of this year when I was like, I don't buy the character and people were yelling at me, so I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Well, this is why. When you do the work shoot shit and then you're going to obviously end up in AEW, that's why I don't buy it. But I was wrong until I was right. All you gotta do is give it some time. Listen to me now, believe me later on.
I saw so many people upset with this, and I was just like, well, one, what do you eventually expect to happen? Two, it's not like they've pushed the guy to the moon anyway since his star-making match. What the fuck has he done since? Besides lose everybody and lose or have matches where he could not win, like against Yota Tsuji or Tomohiro Ishii. Everybody beats Ishii, but not how I would have booked potentially your hottest property between him and Tsuji. They're going to run it back again at Dominion, one would think, but scare money don't make no money. If they're afraid he's going to leave, then he's out anyway. Then holla. I feel no sympathy.
So,
and the New Japan fans are feeling like they've been hoed and they're just getting spanked by AEW. I'm like, yeah, you are. What you gonna do?
So
cry? You gonna cry?
All right. So, do we expect for Ben Door to see another Omega match where Gabe Kidd gets the win?
I do not expect to see that.
Okay, I just wonder if we're falling all the way completely down the same exact timeline as the 2023 stuff between Ospreay and Omega. I was wondering. That's all. Because it's why else do you think he got that match in Tokyo Dome with Kenny Omega? What else do you think that happened?
I mean, Kenny goes over there. Makes a new superstar for you. Look, make a new star, take a new star. Hey, it's up to you.
To be fair, Ospreay wasn't a new star, but my point is start some shit, and then start the shit over in AEW. I'm soft launching shit in New Japan and bring it over here.
Yeah. So they were wrestling the Young Bucks the previous weekend. Gabe Kidd was at Resurgence, so a lot of people don't think that they're not respecting the kayfabe of New Japan and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, you got a point, but do y'all respect New Japan Strong? I would ask you that.
Yeah, I got another question, right? So I don't know. I take that back. You know what? They should be able to make a competitive offer to Gabe Kidd, seeing that they are now off the books with Tetsuya Naito, right? They are no longer paying. They are no longer paying Kazuchika Okada or Tetsuya Naito. Where are they paying?
Where's the money?
Where's the money for the roster now?
Who's stealing it?
Isn't there freed up cap room?
Is Hiroshi Tanahashi cooking the books? These are the questions we should be asking. Look. They've got, I know Tony Khan's money is probably is different over there, right? But I guarantee you, Gabe Kidd is not coming in at the super level of where it's just
he's not making Ospreay money.
No, he's got it would be the next contract after that where he would get the re-sign or whatever.
In theory, yeah.
But yeah, in theory, yeah. But this guy's excellent. I like his work. Every time he does an angle with somebody, it really pops off the screen for me. The thing he did with Mark Briscoe a few months ago in backstage, he just brings the chaotic energy that I love. He just talks a bunch of shit. And if he can capture that magic of like what he did in that Omega match, what he did in the match with Suji, and the way that I think a lot of people feel about him, and there's a reason people are just like kind of up in arms about it.
Right.
They fucking love this guy.
Right.
Like,
and
this guy rules.
And one thing for me that I don't necessarily like is him bring Braun to AEW next to Moxley, when it's like, hey, Moxley, when you turn heel, the role you provided as like a bit the wild man wrestler, as the babyface, the Terry Funk factor that people loved about him, it should be Gabe Kidd coming in as that. Now that Moxley's out of that role, but he's with Moxley now. Like obviously there's some long-term play involved where like potentially Gabe Kidd can break free from that and he becomes that, but it's like he could have walked into that day one instead of doing this. So that's one of the things, like I don't love him being immediately put with a lame act. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's like this guy's like he doesn't need anybody to talk for him, wrestle for him, nothing.
It's almost like they put him in here so they can break him out later. It's like, well, you could just not even do that. Like maybe this is how they want to start him and get Roos in the company. I don't mind that, but it's like I feel like you have to do a lot better. Or maybe they're holding like this is the thing.
I think this is just anarchy in the arena.
I'm not saying the exact same thing. Was like this is going to be like this Sami Zayn factor, the thing that actually breathes life into this stale thing and actually gets it back hot again. Maybe that's their play. And if it works out, he'll be a gigantic. He'll definitely blow up off of that. But I would not have done that to him because now you're putting a lot of pressure on him to have to make chicken salad out of this absolute chicken shit that has been this past 7 months.
Wasabi King had a great comment. They can take back Jay White. Yeah, they can have the best leader of the Bullet Club back. And all the other kind of wild shit they used to say about Jay White.
Look, Jay White has not been an issue in AEW. In fact, the best Jay White the most Jay White I've experienced has been in AEW compared to the stuff I watched New Japan when he was doing the bullshit. So I'm okay with. He's just been, they just have never taken him seriously as a top star because look at the actual top stars in AEW. He does not actually compare to them. He's a very good upper mid carder. He's a person that can be in the main event here and there, like as a challenger, but he can't be the champion. He can't be the actual main event guy in this company. With the talent that's actually not actually being used in this thing, because we have Kenny Omega out here with doing that right now.
Yeah, they have. I think the Gabe Kidd pairing is just kind of temporary for the Anarchy in the Arena part, and is going to spin off to whatever Forbidden Door is with him. But I don't know, man. Like, I hear how insufferable these people are, and I just don't feel bad for them. I just don't. So it's like it is what it is. Like,
I mean, I understand how they feel, and it does suck to be like you just have somebody that was going to be like a person that was going to breathe. It's supposed to be like the next like crop, and it's a plot before you even get to see what it was going to look like. So that does suck, right? Like it'd be like, oh, I mean, hell, let Azumi get plucked by AEW. I will not be fucking happy. So I absolutely get it. Like she just finally got her first like red belt or white belt challenge this year, and like now we have a chance for like now, given that Tam retired, Mayu's in Marigold, she actually with her career rival Starlight Kid, she finally get a chance to actually be a semi-main eventer for real now over the next like year. And now all of a sudden, like after I've been waiting since 2019, now it gets yanked from me. I would not be happy. So I do get it from that perspective. I do empathize. I do.
I mean, they push Matt Riddle. They push Dolph Ziggler. Look, they got David Finlay. They love him. Tony Khan ain't trying to take him. You happy with that?
You just named Dolph Ziggler, who he has to be 40 by now, right?
Bro, he's got to be like 45 by now.
Ziggler, who's 45, right? And is like might be the most decorated WWE player wrestler ever be like unceremoniously like let go.
44 years old. He turns 45 in 2 months.
Okay. Yeah. So Dolph Ziggler might be like the most decorated WWE wrestler ever be like unceremoniously like sent off. You have Riddle, who was sent off because he's a fuck up and a problem. And then who's the person you mentioned? You mentioned Finley, who
Finley,
who finally pulled his head out of his ass over the last year and change. Nah, man, these aren't the same things as Gabe Kidd was bringing to the table over the last 7 months. Not the same thing, not quite.
They told me David Finley was balling, so was it cap?
It's not that it's cap. Gabe Kidd's ceiling is way higher. He has a way higher ceiling.
Game's a game. But Double or Nothing. I guess I should pull that card up quickly. We can go through it.
I guess we gonna get to it. They gave that man a matchup pay-per-view. He finna do something crazy.
Who?
They gave Mark Briscoe a singles match on pay-per-view.
Oh,
he finna go.
We should start there. Mark Briscoe versus Ricochet in a stretcher match. I think it's gonna be blood, guts. Oh yeah. New Japan is paying the Good Brothers too. So yeah. Yeah, if it's about money, they can find it. So
one of these days we're gonna find out that Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows have been paying their way everywhere in New Japan whenever they've been showed the last couple trips. One of these days we're gonna find out that they ain't actually been getting paid. We're gonna find out. One of these days, there is no fucking way that these criminal fucks keep getting this money, that keep getting this yen from this company. I don't give a damn if they help start Bullet Club, Carl Anderson. There is no way they keep acting in good faith to come back and please take our money. There is no way Tanahashi is looking at that expense report every quarter and being like, yes, we are giving these many zeros after a number to Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. There's no fucking way. I absolutely refuse to believe it. That is not one of my favorite wrestlers of all time doing this. There's no way. There's no way he's implicated in this. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to give Tanahashi a Rico. There's no way. He's implicated in some bullshit. We have to find justice for Shin Nihon if this happens.
Held Tetsuya Naito's money, gave it to Luke Gallows, So
I want somebody.
Sounds like a self-inflicted wound.
I want somebody to have a picture. I want Zach. If Zach Porter's listening, I want him to make a. See, he would enjoy this because he's a Naito fan. I forgot this. Whatever. We're gonna rock with it. We're gonna go with it anyway. If we find out this is the case, those two are getting the money that was meant to go to Naito. Then what we need to do is I need Zach Porter to make up a picture of Hiroshi Tanahashi on the rope doing his pose, and I need it in black and white, and I need bars, vertical bars, up and down, as if he's behind bars. He needs to be jailed for this. I don't give a damn. He's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. He needs to be jailed for this. This is nasty. He's committing a fraud amongst the people. No.
That's funny.
Oh, Zach's listening. I didn't realize he was on this shit.
He's on it. He's listening. So Mark Briscoe and Ricochet, they've had meetings in these tag matches. They've done a few singles matches on TV, and they've all been excellent. And I expect nothing less. This is still the show. Stretcher match, so nobody's getting pinned here necessarily, but yeah. Bald versus, and Mark Briscoe's let the hair grow in slightly, so he's not bald for this. I appreciate the small touch. And then yeah, I think I'm gonna take Mark Briscoe here.
That would be a really big win. I don't know. Do you think this could be the beginning of a feud? I mean, they've been wrestling a lot in these tags.
This is it, I think.
This is it. I kind of feel like Ricochet has to win then.
That could happen. Tag match, FTR against Nigel McGuinness and Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia in a tag match is interesting. In a way where I say that where I'm actually not interested. He has a TNT title, or no, he does not have the TNT title. Adam Cole has a TNT title, but
where is he?
Adam Cole is not in action at the moment.
That sounds like a CTE concussion alert. If we haven't seen him that long, given his history,
I have not. I'm not saying it is. I just have not seen the man in a while. So
I know you're not saying it. You haven't told me anything. What I'm saying is, given his history and how long he was out with a concussion before, if he's sitting down and he's healthy and he just got this belt, and given how long he was out with his fucking ankle, there's something going on. And they haven't announced an injury that we hadn't heard about. And when people don't announce injuries, it tends to be shit like it's a concussion. We don't want to say he's been out with a concussion. That's how it works in both of these promotions.
So Garcia spins his way into this with Nigel McGuinness. And I don't know. I think FTR will do a good job in this.
I think it'll be a fun match. I think the dynamics of the Daniel Garcia stuff will be interesting. But here's one thing y'all need to know: Nigel McGuinness don't come on AEW television in matches to win. So FTR over.
Yeah, FTR is going to pin Nigel here, I would imagine.
Oh yeah.
Singles match for the women's world belt: Toni Storm versus Mina Shirakawa. Tony's over strong here, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Unless they shock the world, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Got to is we're headed where we think we're headed. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Tag match for the World Tag Team Championships. So when Anarchy in the Arena happens, it tends to let other people on the pay-per-view that have not been around. So we got Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara with the ROH tag belts challenging the Hurt Syndicate. This match screams to me, Sammy Guevara, get ready to fall, get ready to bump, get ready to do all the work.
You forgot the most key word. Get ready to die.
And take the pin.
Of course. He ain't finna pin 6'6" Dustin Rhodes, the living legend. No. No. Hey man, I want to see this match for the visual hilarity that will be the catchweight rules of pro wrestling, where we get Sammy Guevara in the same ring as Bobby Lashley. That's gonna be fun. One is gonna be funny when it's gonna be Shelton Benjamin, and then Bobby Lashley's gonna get in the ring. It's gonna be go from funny to fucking hilarious. You're gonna have a nigga that weighs like 300 pounds of just muscle in there versus a nigga that don't even weigh 160. I'll take that back. 180. It's gonna be fucking hilarious. Look, they finna isolate Sami Zayn and they finna beat that boy down. He'll get a couple spots in, but he ain't gonna be many.
Part of me thinks, Dustin loved to get in there and sell, and be the big face of peril and shit.
He'll bleed, but he'll get taken off the table and he'll bleed on the floor or some shit. And he'll be incapacitated, and then they're gonna whoop Sammy Guevara to death.
It only leaves Sammy Guevara one thing to do: the return of pay-per-view. Sammy Guevara, he's crazy. This man might jump off the arena to try to do something. This man ain't been on pay-per-view in a long time.
Now you mentioned jump. I was thinking more of the is it a verb or adjective? I feel like Kevin Nash. Forget it. You were using jump. I was thinking thrown. Look, he will not be jumping off shit. He will be getting thrown off shit.
Women's Owen Hart Foundation Cup final: Jamie Hayter versus Mercedes Moné. I would say this is an anticipated match in women's wrestling circles. Different kind of opponent for Mercedes. Kind of takes her back in the Statlander realm with Jamie. Kind of like the bigger opponents. Mm-hmm. More power wrestlers, and she goes well with them. So as far as who wins, I'm kind of torn on this. I feel like Mercedes is going to win because she started dropping the New Japan Strong titles. And I would say this one's a lot more up in the air for me than the men's final. I think that one's a dead giveaway of who's going to win. But I'm going to take Mercedes here.
Same. I'm expecting a high level Mercedes match. I'm expecting her to rip off a 4.5 star match right here. I think this is a big reintroduction for Jamie Hayter, a year late, or 13 months late, or not 3 months, more like 10 months late, but whatever. We're here, and I think they're gonna have an awesome match. I really do.
Men's,
I think this match is like, as you mentioned, the size difference or whatever else. Jamie hasn't really, aside from like Julia Hart, which is a totally different level from what Mercedes can get to. Mercedes can reach so much of a higher level, a level that Julia can't even dream of at this point in their career. But I think like a lot of stuff that Mercedes wants to do, or whatever else, a lot of that fits what Jamie can help her do as far as from a lucha base standpoint. So yeah, I think this is gonna be a killer match.
I want to see how Mercedes takes these clotheslines and shit. Oh, that's gonna be great.
It's gonna be fun. You're gonna see Sasha Ragdoll, Mercedes Ragdoll. It's gonna be fun.
Hangman Page versus Will Ospreay, Owen Hart men's finals. This match is gonna be probably one of the greatest matches in the history of the company. I think. Yep. Two guys incredibly over. Either one of these guys is the right pick. Yep. Love them both. Whoever wins, I hope they win at All In. Yep.
Whoever wins this should be the next AEW World Champion. But we'll see.
The star rating floor for this, I think I'll take 5.5 in my sleep.
I'll take 5. 5.5 that's a really high bar.
Yeah,
but we're talking about the Meltzer bar. If you're listening, you're unfamiliar. If y'all see this clip or whatever else, Meltzer will go over that 5. But this you kind of started like this is going to be one of the 5 best matches you see all year. Yeah,
it's I would say some people will probably think it's kind of a defining match for the company, but I don't think I'm there with it.
This match may not be. They will get there eventually. It's gonna happen.
Yeah,
maybe not this match, but maybe the second.
I don't
match.
think this is it. I think they're gonna
for example, right? The Swerve and Page stuff. It didn't start off like that. It ended up there.
Yeah,
there's plenty of time with both of them in their careers for them to have their actual horn lock, where they lock horns, and it's beyond just a final. It's they have they meet each other at a certain point in their careers, and they're in each other's way beyond just for the belt. It's for to be potentially the man, or the ace or whatever. So yeah,
I'm taking Ospreay. He was in the finals of the C2, lost it. I don't think he's going to lose this one. Heyman was in the finals last year, and he's going back to back. What the hell? Who's somebody that lost two series in a row? I don't know, but yeah.
Didn't Ibushi? Am I wrong on that?
I don't remember. He won a couple G1s in a row.
No. Okay,
but he lost that.
The 18th final, Tanahashi beat him, right?
Yes.
19 he won, but then he lost the briefcase to Jay White. Never mind.
Right. It all got Make-A-Wish.
Jay White. Boy.
Jay White. Yeah, so I'm taking Will here pretty comfortably. I don't feel torn about it, or I don't feel like it's going to be a particularly difficult decision here. It's just like, you look at the Heyman and it's like, of course they're gonna fuck him. Like, what do you think this is? Like, oh, you think he's over enough? They disagree. So I don't even know if Heyman's case is that he's not. They don't think he's over enough. I just think He just doesn't want to do that. So I'm going with Will. Because Will's awesome. I'm saying Heyman isn't, but Ospreay's gonna have to figure out how to make it work with the fucking Death Riders. And y'all gonna hate it, and we gonna hate it even more when the Death Riders kill that man in Texas. So
I'm gonna go with Ospreay because I don't want to be around for the timelines, for the possibility that Hangman gets to Texas, comes out with the cowboy shit on in Texas, everybody suited and booted, looking like
horse.
Comes out in the horse in Texas, looking like Beyonce at the fucking Christmas Day halftime show this year or last year, and then fucking lose the Death Riders. I cannot deal with what my timeline will look like. I can't deal with Black Girl Wrestling and everybody else losing their fucking mind and melting down and being done with the company. So I'm gonna go with Ospreay just for the sake of people can survive and live and stomach it. There will be people that if Hangman were to win the Owen and then lose this after losing last year, and they thought that Swerve Hangman should be the thing last year, this would be people's final breaking point with this company. So I don't want people to still enjoy pro wrestling.
I wouldn't blame them for the record.
That's why I wouldn't either. But I'm saying there's gonna be a lot of people that'll be like, I'm fucking done with this company. They're fucking with me. If Hangman were to win this and then lose in Texas, in Dallas, for Arlington, Fort Worth, whatever the fuck, compared to Ospreay, because people understand that Ospreay still has a long story for it. People would be like, all right, man, this is apparent. Like they're never ever going to put the belt on Hangman again. I'm done with this company. I can see that. I can see people absolutely being like, enough.
Build it up even more. He makes his entrance on literal some John Wayne shit. Like he shoots some fucking expensive fucking entrance for him, like some video or whatever. Like they do some insane shit. He comes out on a fucking white horse or whatever. This man puts actual cowboy hat on and walks out.
And fucking loses.
It would be too painful.
I know. That's what I don't want that. And look, even though I make fun of them, I actually don't want that for them. So, yeah.
I don't know, how. I don't know the fallout, what Hangman does after this, but hopefully Will can. I'll say this. I said it on this show before. If they have Will Ospreay defeat Hangman Page, someone backstage needs to offer to quit the company if they don't put Will Ospreay over at All In. Like that's how. Like I don't care about Darby Allin climbing the mountain, and he made it.
Look,
I don't care when he comes back. If it's Wrestle Dream, they gotta fucking do the match or whatever. Like it's a fucking year. I don't care about none of that shit, dog.
Rich. AEW should feel that way about whichever one of them wins this match. They should go it should be absolutely the fuck not, Tony. I'm leaving here if Hangman Page or Will Ospreay is not the champion leaving out of Texas on July 12th, 2025. That's how it should be for both of them. But we have noted how this company has fucked with Hangman and been weird with Hangman, and Hangman's been in and out of the company for stints at times since 2022. So
it made it the storyline kind of like with this thing with Will talking, hey man, your life fell apart.
Right. You've taken your ball and you've gone home. You've lost your smile. They actually did the smile thing. I'm just throwing in the taking your ball and going home thing. Like, if they were to, like, they better not fuck with Hangman like that. It'd be fucking dumb. Like, they are doing more damage than good doing that. Obviously, I feel that way for either one of them, but it's like, there's a point of no return when it comes to the Hangman thing if Hangman were to lose to Moxley in this iteration of Moxley at this stage. It just would be.
Anarchy in the rematch.
you're setting a terrible precedent for All In. If in your third one you put the heel over, and it's not even like a heel that helps you draw. It's not a heel that's doing critically acclaimed stuff. It's just a shitter heel.
Yep. I'm nervous about what these tickets actually going to look like. And
should have taken the belt off Moxley and put it on Swerve. Oh well.
Yeah, that's their choice. Anarchy in the arena match. I don't know who's all going to be in it, but it's some combo of like Kenny Omega, Swerve, Hobbs, Samoa Joe, and Willow Nightingale against the Young Bucks, John Moxley, Gabe Kidd, possibly Ren Shafir, either Willow or Claudio. I don't know. I think the match is going to be insane. Mm-hmm. There's already like you just think about all those pairings. You know, Will Nightingale is a deathmatch god. She wants to go crazy in this thing. Like, she probably going to split Moxley, bro. How many times is she going to bid with the power of Nick Jackson or Mac Jackson? Or them together?
That's going to be funny.
So, you know,
I'm sure when that happens, we'll get tweets about fan service in pro wrestling.
You know, when did we get the chop battle between Gabe Kidd and Willow Nightingale?
Oh no! Keep Willow Nightingale far the fuck away from Gabe Kidd. I forgot about that. You mentioned I forgot about that. Yeah.
You know, wonder what Swerve's got in mind. That demon. Is he gonna bring a brick? I wonder. Or brick, maybe the chain.
The chain is definitely coming. The chain is definitely
coming. Can we get Kenny Omega with the super loaded V trigger? Can he put like a metal plate in the knee portion? I don't know.
We'll see some fun. We know that at least.
I need Willow to show up with the braids, I think. Like show braided up.
Did she do that for one of those death matches or street fights?
Yep. Yeah. Yo, her and Marina, matter of fact, braided up, both of them, and then you know.
Well, Marina definitely do it because it's like this is like when I had my hair in when I was doing like MMA.
Right. But yeah, should be a sick, insane match, I imagine. So
yeah.
But anyway, that's all I really got.
Should be a very good show. I think you're going to get a bunch of great matches, of course.
I think we need to find something for Kyle Fletcher because he's been too fucking good to get left off this show. I don't know what.
For Takeshita. I mean, why aren't they in the tag team division aside for the obvious, which is like we don't want to be fed or food for you know Big Bob and Big Shelton.
Yeah. But I guess that's all I have.
Yeah. All right, y'all. That's the end of the show. Thanks for listening. If you are watching from the stream, be sure to go to the show notes in the podcast when it's up and go to the Red Circle link. You can donate there. And be sure to listen to other shows on the network besides One Nation Radio. Oh, also, before we get to that, go to the One Nation Radio Chop Tees store and pick up some merch. And be sure to listen to other shows on the network. Besides One Nation Radio, you have Keepin It Strong Style, All Things Elite, AEW Match Generator, Tunnel Talk, the Trish and Sarah Wrestling Podcast, MCW Adventure, and Wrestling Hour with Chris Thing. Thanks for listening, y'all. Later.
Peace.